everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Sunday and I know I don't normally post on Sundays, but I just wanted a little bit more time to get everything right for this video, and I know I'm posting it a little bit later, but yeah. Anyway, let's just get right to it. I'm just going to talk a little history on some facts on the residential school system here in Canada, and I'm just going to leave some information linked for you guys below in case you want to know more, and leave some comments below in case you want to ask me more questions, or if you want me to do another video like this, let me know. I can absolutely do that for you guys and give you some more information. So let's get to it. Now, I'm going to start with giving a brief explanation quickly here on what residential schools were. Residential schools were basically government-sponsored systems and schools run by the Catholic churches and the nuns in the churches and the priests and whatnot. Now, they were created for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to take the Indian out of the child. Now, I quote Indian here because this is not the correct term for my race. This was the term given to us by white men when they came over here and took our land. Now, essentially, they gave us this name because they thought they were idiots. They thought that they were in India, and because we had darker skin and we were like red skin, they either call us Redskins or Indians. And they made a mistake because we were not Indians. We are native. We are a completely different culture from India. Now, I personally don't get offended by being called this because I am very open-minded, and I know that lots of people are not properly educated on this issue and they just don't know any better, which is why I'm here doing this video for you guys. Now, I'm giving you the correct terms to use because I do know that there are some Native people out there who do get offended when the wrong term is used. Now, I don't have a preference to any of these three terms, but preferably we like to be called Aboriginal, Native, or Indigenous. And now there are many other different types of natives. We have many different kinds of tribes, and so personally I am Cree, but there's also Anishinaabe, Mohawk, Inuit, Métis. So there are many other kinds of natives in Canada. So we aren't just one collective group of race. We are different races as well of native. So keep that in mind when you come across a native person. You can maybe ask them if you're curious and if they seem pretty polite, and most of us are. We're very, very polite. Most of us have that thought in our heads where disrespect us, then we're probably going to disrespect you. We're very justice people, and that's what me personally I am. Very all for justice, and not a fan when people get away with things that they shouldn't. So anyway, getting off topic here. Yeah, if you're coming across a Native person, I would just maybe use Aboriginal, Native, or Indigenous. See how they respond, and maybe ask them, do you mind if I ask, what kind of Native are you? Are you Cree? Are you Mohawk? Are you Métis? I'm just curious. And if you start asking different natives this question, you will notice that we do have different features even within our different races of native. So it is pretty interesting to see and to take note of. So moving on, native children were essentially forcibly removed from their homes, taken away from their families, isolated from their families, their sisters, their brothers, and assimilated into Canadian society and culture. And, you know, the Catholic churches, they did what they could to deprecate the Indigenous spiritual tradition and basically convert the Indigenous youth into the Catholic culture as well. Yeah, So that's essentially what happened. And I will be leaving some more links down below for you guys, but I'm just kind of doing a quick short brief video here for you, just to give you a little summary of what happened at these schools. Now, these schools were formed and established as early as 1831, and the last one was shut down in 1996. That is 1 year before I was born. I was born in 1997. It's 23 years ago when the last one was shut down. That is how long residential schools were a part of Canadian history, and how long they were able to take Aboriginal children away from their families and just strip them from their Indigenous culture. So now the reason why I did this video is obviously because I'm sure many of you have heard that there was the recent discovery of the 215 children that were found. Their bodies were found at a British Columbia residential school. And now some of these children were as young as three years old. And you need to think about that if you have kids. Imagine your kids just being taken away to a school and you never see them again, ever. You don't know what happened. You're gonna want answers. And I think that is why the Indigenous community is so not stressed, but so exhausted and tired of the lies that the government has been hiding. And this is why we're trying to push what actually happened out there even more. And personally, I will never know what it was like to be in a residential school. I had the wonderful opportunity and a wonderful family, and I grew up off the reserve, so I was given many opportunities that I fully believe that I wouldn't have been given if I lived on the reserve, just because of how bad the conditions are on reserves. And that can be a whole nother video on how conditions are on reserves in Ontario, which are very similar to third world country conditions. So yeah, another video I could totally discuss with you guys. But anyway, off topic again. Now, this is such a big issue because this recent discovery really brings into light what actually occurred in these residential schools, which was essentially abuse, torture, and murder. Because there's the proof right there. They tried to hide it, and they refused any proposals to spend a significant amount of money. Well, not even a significant amount. To me, 1.5 million is not a significant amount of money. And by the way, what I'm talking about is the proposal in 2009 that the Canadian government denied for 1.5 million to spend on searching residential schools for the missing bodies. Well, I wonder why they denied that. Anyway, I will be leaving a bunch of links down below for you guys. So if you want to read more on where I got some of this information from, this is just the beginning of my video. I actually think now that I'm just sitting here doing this, I want to do a whole series on this for you guys. I know my channel is about fashion and lifestyle and fitness, and I don't do much of the fitness stuff yet, but I am Aboriginal, and I personally want to get more in touch with my culture and learn even more and educate myself more on Indigenous history and Indigenous culture. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and create a whole YouTube series on Indigenous history for you guys and get going with that, because I am very passionate about this subject, and this is something I really want to bring into light for you. And yeah, I actually, speaking of that, I actually have an amazing poem that I will be uploading for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, give it a thumbs up if you liked anything I had to say. Leave a comment below, let me know if you do want me to expand more on this issue, and please give me any topics that you want, that you're interested in learning about, and I can go ahead and research for you, and I can go ahead and discuss this with you. So I know this was very, very brief and short, but I'm essentially saving my best content for more YouTube series, because I do want to bring more awareness to this subject in Canada. So yeah, let me know if you like this. So one more thing before I actually go. I have an amazing documentary that I actually watched in high school, and it really brings to light the events that actually occurred at the residential schools, and two survivors bravely talk about the abuse that happened to them. And the documentary is very, very sad and graphic, but it really does bring attention to what happened. And yeah, and I will say this, trigger warning, it does involve some rape scenes. So if you are watching this and that's something that's tricky for you, either don't watch it, or maybe watch it with a couple of people. Watch it with a friend, watch it with your family, especially if you're younger. Please don't watch it alone. Please grab someone to watch it with. I just really don't recommend watching this alone. You will get pretty depressed watching this documentary. It is very, very sad, but I highly recommend it because it is very informative and very educational and shows what actually happened. So I'll link it for you guys down below. If you have a Prime Video subscription, then you can go ahead and watch it on Prime Video. And honestly, who doesn't have Prime? So it's on there. It's free. Go watch it. Prime Video. Not free, but anyway. I'll see you guys tomorrow with my poem that I want to read for you about the 215 Indigenous children that died. So have a good night.